Hi everyone. So I am back again with a new topic. I would not say it's a new topic. It is the continuation of the last topic which we talk about. So just I am taking a minute and two to explain or to recap that what we discussed last time. So last time one of my session was about the data lake. Those who have not gone through that particular session, just for that understanding, this data lake is nothing but a water lake. As we have a water into the lake, similarly we have a data into a data lake. The only thing is that why it has been coined as a data lake rather than the normal database or any other flat file. And the answer is similar like a water lake, because the water into the lake is raw, it's not processed, it's not mineral. And a similar way into the data lake, the data is raw. When I say the raw, they can be in structured data, they can be unstructured data, they can be a file system, they can be a binary system, they can be video, image, anything which you can think of. So this is one of the simplest definition of the data lake, and it was very important to understand before going to this today's session, which is about data to analytics to AI. So we always heard about these terms, analytics, analytics, analytics. And we also start reading about artificial intelligence or a machine learning or a deep learning. So I'm not going to touch base the machine learning and deep learning into this session. And the idea of today's session is not to explain the artificial intelligence as a totality, but where the journey is going from data to data warehouse to the artificial intelligence. So what is data is the first point which we are going to cover, and then we will be figuring what is data analytics, what is artificial intelligence, how this particular data to analytics to intelligence, and what is the maturity model of the analytics. Because everything is finally coming up with the analytics. And when I say the analytics, the simple definition of the analytics is that whatever the data we have, how we can do the analysis on top of that, so we can get the predictive pointers out of it to take the good and the strong decisions into the business or wherever we want to use it. So what is data to analytics to AI? What is data? So I can break it into two different parts. One is from where the data is coming. So there can be several different sources like transport, like geographical, like cultural, like scientific, financials, statisticals, meteorologicals, naturals, A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever you can think of. So data can be come from any source. This is called the data source. I mean, you can see over there, this is the good image where we are saying from where different places the data is coming. And the other part of the story is what type of data is coming. That is also important, because not all systems are giving us the data in the same format or the same structure. So if you see another part of the screen, it is saying there are different type of a data which is coming up, and the data type can be structured data, which means the relational database like rows and columns. I know whoever has been read about the database, any of the basic line of the database, it says the data is stored into the rows and columns. Even if we are writing into the notebook, it is more about rows. Even if we are writing into the Excel sheet, it is rows and columns. So this is called structure. Anytime I can say, okay, row number 10, column number 7, and anyone can go directly over there and say, this is the value of this particular data set. That is why it is called the structured data. Then we have a semi-structured data. Semi-structured data, as name says, somewhat structured but not fully structured. So what do you mean by semi-structured? Let's say I have a JSON. I cannot directly say go to the row number 17 or the cell number thing. I would be saying, okay, tag this X, under tag X is a text Y, you have to go and read the data. Similarly for the XML, we have a nodes. So we will be reading out nodes rather than the rows and columns, and CSV and the log files. So these are some of the examples of the semi-structured data. And we all know that getting the data from the semi-structured data is comparatively harder than getting it from the structured data. But story is not ending here. We are also getting unstructured data, where there would be no structure at all, like emails. There can be an image into the email, there can be lines, there can be articles, there can be words, there can be a signature, anything can be there into the email. We have documents. I would be writing a Word document, I would be writing a PDF document, It can have several lines and paragraphs into this. It can be a table as well, which is a tables and structured data, but it's not mandatory. So it is called unstructured data. And the last point of this story is the binary data. What is binary? Binaries are audios clipping, videos clipping, images, whatever you can think of, which is not even into the structured, unstructured, or the semi-structured. Like, I cannot see the video and say, okay, time 10 minute 5 second you will be on that particular scene. I have to run it and then only I can go and see it. So to understand the data, two parts: source of the data, which says from where the data is coming, and the type of the data, which type of a data is coming, and together it makes a story about data. Now the second terms come up, the data analytics. So what is data analytics? Once we have a data, then the data analytics are process to examine raw data. It can be a hard word, but it's very simply saying that you can examine this particular raw data as we are examining the patient and do some sort of a processing on that is called data analytics. Data analytics is also to reach conclusions. Again, I am taking the example of the patient and doctor. Like if doctor is examining the patient and he can say, okay, you have a fever. So this is the conclusion. It can also help in drive insights. Like what is actually meaning of that particular data. In the last 10 years, we have a 10% of sales. So this is insight. In the last 10 years, we grow from the X number to the Y number. In last 10 years, we have sent toys, not the automobile. In the last 10 years, automobiles is decreasing. So these are the insights. Then analytics is also important to have support for decision making. So now I am sitting into the conference and saying, what should be the sales do you expect in the next years? Or what should the changes we need to do to make my sales up and running? So these are the decisions which we can take on the basis of the data analytics. Like in the last years, if the fashion from the shirt is moving to the t-shirt, so in the garment industry, I would be taking this decision why our company is not going into the t-shirt, or the round neck t-shirt is not that important like a collar t-shirt. So we will be getting this help from the data analytics to take the decisions. It's enable organizations. So enabling organization and decision making is more or less same thing. So now what we are trying to say in the another word, that if we have the data and the analytics on top of that, then into the organizations we enable it, okay, where we should go with this particular thought process and where our organization needs to be moved. It also gives the evidence. When we say the evidence, all decision makings or enabling organization should be fact. It should not like I feel like that. It should be I am saying this because of this statistics and data. So these strong evidences the presence within the data analytics, because if we have a data and if I am presenting it to so many data into the boardroom, it's not going to make a sense out of it. Then I will be saying in the last 3 years, this is the numbers which is really important and which is also a strong evidence that why I would be reaching to this particular decision. It is also giving the business resolutions. What do you mean by business resolution? Let's say there is a pager company. I don't know what good or bad example I'm taking. And then he says that suddenly the sale is going down. And then they come to know the mobile or smartphones into the market. Then they have to think about the business resolutions. Okay, we need to move from the pager to the mobile to the smart mobile on, I don't know what next is coming after the smart mobile. So that is the business resolutions we can take. Once we have a data analytics available into the boardroom or into the discussion or into the organization. It also consists of basic statistical model. Now I am going more deeper. The above part which I was talking about is about the actual benefits. Now it is more about it, how it is doing, what it all about is. So statistical models like word saying statistics. So statistics contains plus, minus, going up, going down. So we need a model out of it. When I say the model, it's not the fashion model. It's of course the data model, because this session is about data, not the fashion. So data model is saying how we have to keep this data into our model, because then we know that what query I have to be run or how I have to figure out the data from my models. Then we have a business intelligence. So business intelligence is nothing but you have write that particular intelligence or a thought process into some query form or a regression forms and all. So you run that particular logic onto particular data and it's come up, which is the business intelligence. So it was in the mind, but when you have kept it into the software and then you have already a high level of a data, that it is giving a more meaningful or accurate results and effect rather than just your thought processes. Is online analytical processes. So we have, how should I say, there are two types of processing we have, OLTP, OLAP. So OLTP is saying analytics transactional processing and OLAP is saying analytics processing about this. So transactional and analytics. So transactional is where just a row and column. Analytics is and when you have put something on top of the row and columns and get the meaningful data. They have a various advanced analytics as well. So we will be covering this advanced analytics when we will talking about the artificial intelligence and the maturity model, especially the maturity model. Because if I am in the standard one, I cannot talk about the person of MBA from the IAMs. So we have to check the maturity. Nobody can take a person of a 10th standard and taking it to the boardroom. Though nowadays there is an exceptions. Kids are very smart and even in the 12th standard they are going to the boardrooms or owner of the company. But in a general, we see okay, this particular person have this particular academic qualifications, did their MBA, 20 years into this industry, then he can give a more beneficial decisions making for the company. Artificial intelligence. This is a buzzword. Everybody is talking about AI, AI, AI. Initially when I heard about AI, I was thinking about it's Air India. But when I read about detail in that particular news, I came to know, oh, it's not Air India, it's something called artificial intelligence. What is the artificial intelligence? So before going to the artificial intelligence, let's think about human intelligence. So human intelligence is with us. I am giving this session because of some intelligence. This is human intelligence. Is there someone who can give this particular session instead of I am doing it? Is an artificial intelligence. So if I train somebody, not the human, non-human thing, who can think like me, who can make a presentation like me, who can give the session like me, then it means that I am making that artificial intelligence enable into that person, so he can start talking or thinking or working like a human being. So in a very simple language, if I say what is the definition of the artificial intelligence, it enables the computer to do the things normally done by human. So any machine, if it is working like a normal human, is an artificial intelligence. Though we have heard that there is a robot which were there into the birthday party and serving the people. So what it is actually doing? It is doing the activity of a waiter or a human being. So that is the artificial intelligence. There is one robot on the one marriage party which was just talking with the people. If I am asking that in which marriage I am coming in, it is answering you are in such and such marriage. So it is artificial intelligence because that particular person is giving the information like a human being. So any activity which can be performed by computers, which generally human beings are doing, is called the artificial intelligence. Now what is the bigger examples of the artificial intelligence? Like visual perceptions. So if we all heard about the cars, which is the auto cars and all. This is artificial intelligence because it is thinking like a brain. It's know where I have to stop, where I have to be go on 20 miles per minute or per second, where I have to take a left turn, where I have to take a right turn. It's completely thinking as a visual perception. So this is the one of the example of the artificial intelligence. Speech recognitions. This is very common. You go to any mobile like Apple, there's Siri. You just say who is the Prime Minister of Narendra Modi. It's reading your speech, giving you the answers, going to the search, crawling the answers and giving it to you. Or you say call to my sister. It is going and calling to my sister. So it is reading my speech. I can speech my password as well to unlock the mobile device. This is the speech recognition, again an artificial intelligence example. Then we have a decision making. So if decision making is again, as we talked for the analytics as well, so it is going another maturity level into decision making. Decision making is like, how should I explain? Again, going back to the car example. They are taking autopilot car is taking a decision, or a autopilot planes are taking a decision. If the airflow is coming, I have to be speeded down, or I have to be instruct people sitting into the aeroplane that please use your mask, rather than human being is doing, machine is doing it. So that is why it has the artificial intelligence. Translation between the language. This is really a big problem, and Google is doing a very hard work into this, and they are coming up the translator where I have opened my mobile saying on the speaker mode, and I am speaking my own language, and it is translating into the local country language, and then I can easily order my food or easily shop to my groceries and all. So how it is doing it? Because somebody is tuning that model. If I am saying I, so whatever the French is there into the I, it is converging into that, and it is completely online. So it is very easy for me to converge in any of the forums, any of the speech where I have to give, because I just have to keep my mobile on the speakerphone, speak into this, it is converging it and taking it to the audience or anywhere else. So all these are some of the example of the artificial intelligence. So now we read about data. Now we read about analytics and the artificial intelligence. Now we have to join these all picks. So they have 3 picks, we have to join it. It's like a game that we have 3 pieces and we have to make a story out of it. So there are 4 types of analytics which help us to make this story done. So first thing is that we require the data. So if we do not have a data, we cannot do anything. It's either artificial intelligence or either data analytics. Though the difference in the artificial intelligence is that it is retuning the data. So if I have a X data, maybe it can make 4X, 8X, 10X, but at least I require the data. I cannot say that I have a 0 data and go for the artificial intelligence. But I can say, yes, I have a 7 years of a data. Now I can bootstrap it to the 15 years or 20 years and see how it look like if its data would, rather than 7 years to the 20 years. So first type of analytics is descriptive. Descriptive analysis, I mean, you can see the back here, which is telling about what happened. Jo ho chuka hai, what happened. So what happened means I have storing data which has been passed. Like, you know, in the years 1990, this is my business. In the year 2000, this is my business. 1, 2, 3, how my business is progressing on. And I am keeping all this data. So that is what already happened. Second is the diagnostic analytics. Why did it happen? So now I have to the second level where it's saying, okay, this is data, I do agree, but why it has happened? So maybe I came to know government change. So because of the government change, the prices go up and down, and that is why my business go up and down. So this is it telling me why it has been happened. Third type of analytics is predictive. So predictive means, okay, I have a data from the last 10 years. These were the external factors in the last 10 years. So if I go into the 11th year or a 12th year, and I also know that the government is going to be changed next year, and whenever it is going from the one party to another party or a same party, how it impacts to the market or a share market, and how it is going to impact to my business is what about the predictive analysis. And I can say, okay, in the next 2 years, I would be doing this, or my company would be reaching from this place to that place. This is more about the predictive analysis. The fourth form of the analytics is Prescriptive analysis. So what it is? Okay, I have a data, I know the external factor, I know what could happen. Now a person can easily take a decision, what should I do? If it is the external factors or a data or a history is saying that in the next 2 years my business is going to die, what step I need to take to keep it survive or take it to the next level? That is what should we do covers in the Prescriptive analytics. So we have a journey of descriptive, diagnostic, predictive and prescriptive. This is, it's not my picture, this is the Gartner study, and Gartner is, those who are not aware of, just type a Gartner. Gartner is a company which is giving the analysis and their own sort of predictions for all other companies where those companies are moving, or where the technologies are moving, or in any field. So that is what the Gartner is. So if you say there is a horizontal axis which is called difficulty, there is a vertical which is called value. So this particular graph is saying that if we are going to move to difficult phase of the maturity value model, our value is going up, 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 up. So we have to be moved into the direction of difficulty maturity model, and my value is going up onto the y-axis. And you also see it's a very good image, I would say. The arrow in which is coming diagonal is saying information to optimization. So we start with the information. Information is that I have a data, to the optimization, that what decision I should take to make my business more up and running. So this is how this journey is going between the difficulty and the value x and the y-axis. Then we also have a 3 words written into the below the line. If you see, hindsight, insight, foresight. So hindsight is, yes, I have this data, and you know what, why I have, I don't know. What's the reason, I don't know. But when we go to the insight, I know what is the insight of this data, what it means, why we captured it, why it is getting changed, why it isn't going upside, why it is going downside. This is the insight of my data. Whatever data I am collecting, I am not always talking about business. It may be the government data, it's maybe the bus transport, it may be the Indian Railways, it may be flights, it can be a water position, it can be a Ganga water, anything. So if I have a data, what is the insight? Like we all know that Ganga is going dirty. How I can say? Because I have a history. I may not have a data, maybe we have start collecting the data, and when we say it can be a more accurate saying, okay, X% of the pollution is there or a Y% of a pollution is there. But that is what the insight talk about. Then we have a foresight. Foresight is the futuristic thing. What I can see, maybe Ganga water, maybe in the next 2 years I would say Ganga would be clean, and again the water can be drained directly from there rather than doing the processing. So this is the foresight. I'm sorry if this Ganga example is not fitting or not good to go, or maybe it's political driven, but that just came into my mind, so I covered it, the Ganga. So now we will be more talking about the hindsight, insight and foresight. And hindsight means we just have a data, but not the things that why it is data is to me and why it is important to me. Second is the insight. Insight is saying now I know where the data particular thing is and what it means for me. And foresight is what would be the futuristics of these particular insights. Now I'm going to cover those 4 predictive analysis which we have talked just a minute back or 2 minutes back in my previous slide. And now we can able to connect it the all story together. Why I was talking about the information to optimization, why I was talking about journey of data to analytics to AI, and why I talked about 4 different type of the analytics. So as I said, if the difficulty increase, it means analytics is go from the descriptive to diagnostic to predictive. And if you see in the y-axis, the moment I am moving from a one type of analytic to the second type of analytics, the value comes up. So value is not money. Value is now I can take a more precise decisions, which finally convert into the money. So we have a descriptive analytics, which is on the bottom side, which means that what happened, I already have a data. So at least if I am not doing any analytics, I know that what I have done in my last 10 years of the business. Then we have a diagnostic, which says that why you have already done it. That is why this particular thing is saying, why did it happen? Okay, these were the reasons why I am moving from the last 10 years from here to there. Then predictive is saying in the coming next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, what will be happening. And then finally, if I would be in the last stage of the analytics, which is so far the mature one is saying how can we make it happen. So I know I have to be reached from A to B, but how I can reach, what decision I should take. These decisions are how good, how bad, what are the data behind it, what is the stat up behind it, on what basis we are saying that I would be reaching over there. So this is about the maturity model provided by Gartner. I again say it's not my own. So we covered data, we covered analytics, we covered artificial intelligence, then we see the journey from data to analytics to AI, and then finally we also talked about the maturity model, and if the company is moving into the maturity model, how the values and the difficulties are coming up. So this is all about in today's session, which was connecting somewhat with the previous session of the data lake, and the stories, I would say the story complete here by data understanding as a data lake as well as the analytics and AI. Thank you.